room. No worries at all. Excellent. Okay, here we are, live streaming on Facebook. Hello, Facebook world, and hello, beautiful group. Oh, so tonight, Friday night, I'm excited to be here. Had a lot of things kind of just streaming in, a couple of matrix energetics frequencies to bring into our meditation, and some colors flowing in, which is feeling really good. Lots of blues and greens today in this amazing energy shift that we're having. So we have a lot of stuff culminated right now. It's an exciting time because we have the summer solstice or winter solstice, depending which hemisphere you're in, and we have um, some planets kind of coming into retrograde again, which we have been away from for the last little while. And it's not a scary thing by any means to have a planet in retrograde, but what will happen is it can be a little bit more intense. But if we're kind of doing the work and moving forward in just recognizing the things that are coming up, and we're not stuck in that place where why is life the way it is all the time. um when we're kind of in the flow and we're doing some of the things that we need to be doing, it's not as intense. So it becomes tumultuous in that the people that aren't doing their work, they're really frustrated right now, and they're really kind of coming to heads with things. There's lots of beautiful energy around relationships kind of moving in after the solstice. But the neat thing is that the most important relationship that we can be working on is, of course, our own relationship, right? So, our relationship with ourselves. Our relationship with ourselves is so important because we understand now that our reaction basically instigates how the rest of your day is going to go. Our responses, our intentions, where our energy is going to negate how our day rolls out. And so when we have this relationship with ourselves where we're just kind of releasing this negative self-talk, this realizing that, we beat ourselves up a lot. We judge, even though we maybe don't mean to, we judge ourselves a lot. And so working on this relationship, getting to this new level of self-love and self-worth with Neptune kind of coming into retrograde in the next little while, like sort of midweek next week, it all happens right around that solstice time. So it's big energy shifts. We've had 4 planets basically in the Taurian stellium over the last couple of months. So that's been a really grounding energy. And now we're going to embrace this airy energy, this Gemini energy for a little while, and really be able to kind of dream, be able to, oh, and about the dreams lately, I don't know if you guys have been noticing this as well, but the dream states lately are being affected by Neptune, in that Neptune's very kind of like delusional, imaginative, take your brain and your mind into places that it doesn't always go, but it's kind of twisted. Good evening, Heather. Welcome. Um, it's a little on the twisted side. So your dreams might be really weird and twisted. Normally I'll say, really pay attention to your dreams. Let that kind of be a bit of a guide. Look it up. And these dreams lately, you don't even almost want to look them up. You just want to kind of go, okay, that I don't even know what that was, but that was crazy, and just kind of move on from diving too much into what all that means, because the dreams are a little bit twisted right now, just so you know. And coming into the solstice energy midweek, it's a really good time to be able to prepare yourself to be able to get the sleep that you need, because the sleep stuff that's going on around solstice energy, it's really big energy. It's kind of like this whole death rebirth, much like an eclipse season. It's sort of it's a very intense shifting kind of energy, and us that are sort of empathic and in tune may feel a little bit of that energy at night. Even our bodies will be a little bit zippy zappy. So just make sure that you're not having any caffeine in the afternoons to evenings. Really thinking all day about preparing yourself for sleep to making sure that you're going to get enough, because otherwise you'll end up sort of a little bit short circuited as that solstice rolls in. So it's just good to kind of know. Um, so this weekend is a really great time to play, to have fun with life, to be that childlike energy, to explore, to have adventures, to open yourself up to things a little bit more. If you're even if your kid wants to play a card game and you kind of don't really have the time, or someone wants to come over for a little visit, or you have the opportunity to, be around a little baby or a senior, someone who just that time will really benefit the both of you from being together. Encourage yourself to just let go a little bit this weekend. This weekend is sort of that pre-solstice shift, and normally for new moons, I'm all about ceremony and really being intentional. And we have been so intentional, and the energies that are bringing everything forth are so intentional already. Things are almost happening really, really quickly for some, and they're still kind of going, okay, is this what I really wanted? Like they're still not sure about these previous things that they've been manifesting that are showing up, we're still doing a lot of questioning. And so rather than, if we're not in a really solid space of exactly, our true choices are dialed in, we can see them clear, we can feel them, we just know. If we're not really feeling solid, on solid ground going into this new moon energy, it's best not to dwell too much on ceremony, but more about connecting with nature and playing and allowing ourselves to get into that high vibration, into that anticipation, into that gratitude feeling, into that, wow, look how far I've come. I'm sitting and playing and I'm having so much fun. And to let ourselves be really getting into things like going to a theater, going to a play, or going to an art class or a paint party, or a stitch and bitch, or something where you're going and you're actually hanging out with other like-minded people, a book study, or something that just kind of gives you that little twinge or twang. Allow yourself to spend a bit of time to do that, just having fun stuff this weekend, because that is what's going to really bring us into the clarity come solstice, because solstice and this new moon are so close together. It's like this weekend. Good evening, Heather. This evening is, or this weekend is Stitch and Bitch. I knew you were gonna like that, Heather. It's something we do in Canada where we all sit and knit or crochet, and they call it a Stitch and Bitch, so you can just go and just talk about absolutely anything that you want. It's fun. Um, but this weekend is really to kind of bring us that clarity, and we've been asking all these questions, and we've been doing all the actions, and this is the weekend where things are going to kind of be shone in that light of the sort of the dark night of the soul, the things that aren't normally seen in the new moon, that we want to kind of bring into fruition. I feel like it's the words that, when we've been hearing, you should just do this, or I should just do this. It's like this lesson we already know. It's something we totally already know, but we just haven't actually integrated it yet. This energy that's coming in with Saturn being in retrograde it's like as soon as it stations, which is, I think, when is that on? It is this weekend on Saturday. It starts to kind of, it doesn't exactly go backwards, but it stations in a sign for a long time. And when this happens, it brings this intensity, and Saturn is kind of like the strict teacher, kind of like if you were to go to a convent and you would be, a student with a teacher who was really trying to provide you with the best, and you're a student that kind of does the work, that you're not a student that needs a lot of discipline. It's not going to be as hard. But with Saturn being this kind of strict teacher, it's kind of like we're entering this stage for the next 5 weeks or so, or 5 months or so, where we're going to be able to kind of instill these practices for ourselves. We're kind of being called to action. Like, okay, we knew that we had to be a little bit more self-responsible in things, and there's things that really need to shift and change. And it's like this, changing of shells, this transformation. We've outgrown this chrysalis. So now are we going to spread our wings? Now are we going to find these new shells, these new, moving into this new house, like a hermit crab or like a scorpion that we were talking about a few weeks ago, with really allowing ourselves to come out of that shell. And now it's this rebirth. This, we've almost had these kind of like death experiences, near death experiences, big, huge stuff that's happened for a lot of us in many ways, whether it's just finally understanding things on such a different level. Now we get to move into these new levels. My ears are shifting frequency just as I'm talking about this. It's like being able to do this soul expansion. This is what ascension symptoms are. It's like trying on all these clothes, trying on all these outfits that just don't quite fit anymore. We're coming into this new identity, this new rebirth that's happening with this solstice energy next week. So it's very exciting, but it's not necessary to, be doing a big ceremony to, over this weekend, over this next couple of days. It's not necessary, just because we're going to get this clarity. It's kind of like our heads are in a bit of a blender right now. There's just so much going on. June has already gone by so quickly. It's only the middle of the month, but this is kind of that cycle where you have like a peony flower. I don't know if you guys have peonies at home, but they're these beautiful, oh, they smell so gorgeous, these flowers. And I was looking at one this morning and I was just thinking about this, and it's like they're in these buds right now. They're these big beautiful buds, and a lot of people, especially on my gardening pages and stuff, they're like, should I like be ripping it open? Should I be opening? It doesn't seem to be opening. It's they got this big bud, but it's just not opening. And it's like, it's this big beautiful flower and it's going to open in time. But the weirdest thing about them, oh, that's neat. They have them in Minecraft. That's so cool. You have to ask her if they have in the peonies have to be opened by ants. Ants are actually the greatest ally to peonies. So they climb up the plant and there's usually huge anthills around them. So they drive people crazy at the same time. But they're the ones that chew, they don't, eh? They're the ones that sort of chew the little bits and all of the little tiny little appendages that are holding that flower in the tight bud. Ants are the ones that are going to sort of free them. So until a peony is almost waiting for someone to save it. But if those ants don't come, it blooms in time. It doesn't just stay a tight little nub. It does happen on its own. So if you're calling in the ants, if you have this little army helping you, if you're staying in good vibration, oh, they don't exist in Minecraft. That's funny. I always wondered about that. Um, if we try and rush things, if we were to try and like rip this flower head open before its time, it's going to die a lot quicker, and it's not going to be able to sort of have the journey that it's supposed to have as this beautiful flower bud, and just be able to actually, you probably have them, Heather, I'm imagining. Hey, I saw you pop off mute. Did you want to share about your peonies? No, okay. So yeah, the peony flower just kind of reminds me of this time right now. We don't want to rip the flower bud open. This weekend we want to let the ants come in, have some fun with the journey, watch how it all explodes and expands, and how this beautiful flower and this smell just comes out of this tiny little bud that look like ants might just carry it away just a few days before. So it's literally kind of integrating all that we already know, and being able to allow it to now flourish, to not rush it, to not try and be ripping it open, to just trust that nature's going to take its course and that this flower bud is really going to expand. So this weekend is big shifting time. We don't want to be, really doing a lot of ceremony if we're not super clear, but we're going to do a meditation tonight that just is going to allow us to expand into some of those different shells and look for some of those really small action steps that we can do to just be able to fully engulf this amazing energy that's going to happen with this rebirth of the solstice, because that really is when we are coming into our own. We're going to have some newer discoveries from after this weekend. It's going to bring a lot of clarity. So Sunday is kind of a time where Neptune is what's coming in, and Neptune is again that sort of imagination type of energy, but it also allows us to kind of integrate that self-discipline, because it's basically right within Mars's realm as well, and the way they all work together, without getting into too much of exactly how they are, it's like this push that we needed to be able to take healthy habits to a new level. Like if you've been, kind of making up your mind to do some healthy stuff, but you're still finding yourself maybe binging in the closet at night, or in the cupboard at night, or still making some poor decisions. This weekend is kind of like a bit of a turning point with that, where the energy to make healthier habits is going to feel more at ease and more like the path of least resistance, without even intentionally setting yourself up to do something. That's the thing. It's going to sort of naturally happen, where you're just going to be like, huh, that's funny, I haven't even binged for the last, or huh, that's funny, I haven't even wanted chocolate for the last. Like you're just gonna, it's gonna be sort of that noticing, like after you finish after you're feeling better, you almost don't notice how good you feel until you feel yucky again. You're gonna notice some things into early next week that just have kind of become a little bit easier. You just feel ready. It's like you were getting ready to be ready to be ready, and now you're actually really ready, and now you're taking some different shifts, but it's going to sort of happen naturally, kind of like the whole mindset work does, all of a sudden it's just a little bit easier. This is that shift that we're talking about. It's actually an energetic shift that happens, and you see it now. Kids are growing, they're going through these growth spurts, they're going through this, everything is just doing this little growth thing. And this is exactly what this new moon is about. It's about growth and noticing how you've grown and giving yourself a little bit of accolades for how much you've grown. It's such a beautiful energy, and it really helps us to kind of expand our quality of life, to be that real, like we're leaving. There has been a bit of a death of an identity that we're leaving behind, and it's okay, because the relationships that are going to come out of this are amazing. Because when we allow ourselves to have this relationship with ourselves and really start to get to know ourselves a little bit better and get to appreciate ourselves a little bit more, others tend to do the same, and the shift can be quite magical. And that's kind of what Gemini energy is about. It's really about embracing that magic a little bit. We have literally these new beginnings happening. So this is kind of allowing us to be prepared. This is kind of allowing us to get into that energy, flowing into the middle of the week, really understanding that the light is changing, the planets are changing, things are shifting. There's going to be a little bit more of a cheering squad in your back corner, because you're going to have Saturn kind of reminding you, giving you that little nun's little slap on the wrist when you're not. But it's not going to have to be this tumultuous lesson. It's going to be a, we've got your back, remember you wanted this. Then just, it's going to just expand into more and more. I feel like there's going to be a lot of new beginnings, especially with relationships. And it's going to happen in all houses. There's going to be new beginnings happening, especially, like I say, with relationships, but that also being that relationship with yourself as it expands into the rest of the year. The August, September energy, it gets a little bit exciting where relationships go, because this is even relationships that you already have, whether it's with family you just want to connect with, whether it's your spouse. It's kind of a time that the truth is coming out. That's what Neptune sort of brings in, is like this truth. People are showing their colors, and now you've seen them, and now you understand. And so you're not really as that, Neptune being in retrograde, you're not as snowed under by that. You're like, no, I'm just kind of, like I know exactly who you are, and I know I really don't want to hang out with you that much, but I really am kind of drawn to these people and where this energy is going. And it just kind of naturally happens, rather than having to stew about, do I need to have this conversation with this person? I feel like I need closure. I need to say something, or it's like it's all kind of naturally working itself out. And with Mercury right now being really close in Gemini and being ruled in Gemini, you have this opportunity to kind of get clear on your own thoughts and understand where you're coming from. And sometimes knowing that that's good enough, knowing that, if you're meant to be reaching out to them, you'll end up either running into them, having this calling. But this is where we get to kind of tap into our intuition more, not so much our ego mind. We used to follow these patterns. We used to always cave to this person. We used to always be the one that, we're kind of coming into this new reality, and it's just shifting, and it's fine. It's working out because they're not necessarily on the same vibration anyway. So it's like things naturally kind of work out when we stop trying to control them so much. So really paying attention to your intuition and allowing yourself to play in Neptune's playful energy, and get into those good places so that those divine messages can come in. That's when we really stop, that push, that trying to manifest it, that when we really just kind of stop and play and feel really good, and use our art as a bit of a communication field, and getting into the music and the air bells, your singing bowls, your breath work, that's all just so beautiful to kind of do in this next week and really kind of integrate into your life. So next week's beautiful. That energy is going to be really big, and it's really going to help those expand into a fuller view of yourself in a way that is going to be kind of magical, in that you're really letting yourself enjoy life a little bit more. You're that sort of groundedness that we had in all these planets in Taurus for so long. It's like literally kind of like I was talking about last week with the pressure release valve coming off. But now it's like you have this freedom. Now you're born. You have this freedom to kind of choose your destiny. And so that's what we're going to go in right away in meditation to do. Oh, I feel like I talked really fast through that. There's just a lot of stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. So you see these new opportunities coming, and it feels really good. Ask yourself if it's something to try on for a little while. It doesn't have to be. No one says that it's always forever. No one says that but it's calling to you for a reason, and it's come into your field. And if it feels good and you're not just doing something that you feel you have to do, it can only provide that soul expansion. It can only help us to grow. And what is going to help us to grow right now? What kind of plant food are we going to end up integrating into our garden with our thoughts, right? Because energy, we know it's vibration, and it's how we feel. So we can tell ourselves all sorts of affirmations. We can do all sorts of things, but how are we feeling? How are we really feeling? So have some fun this weekend. Really allow yourself to play. I'm not usually a person that likes playing. As a kid, it was always like, no, I don't like games. I don't. And I've been sharing with you guys, I've been, hear my throat chakra when I did that. When I said that, it's not true anymore. I love playing. I love, just having fun with the kids and not worrying about anyone judging. So yeah, so we're going to do some throat stuff in this meditation right away. I feel my hands are tingling, my ears are buzzing. So I'm just going to get as comfortable as we can. Assume a bit of a position where you can sit for the next 15 or 20 minutes, or lie and just be as comfortable as possible, and get in tune with your breath, and just notice how your breath feels as you try to gently but fully fill your belly, just breathing in as big as you can through your nose, and as you breathe out, just breathing out through your mouth and letting your whole body deflate. And we're just going to breathe together for a few minutes, just enjoying this air aspect, just enjoying the air energy that comes in with Gemini. Any possibilities, and I want you to just connect with your breath. And as you're breathing out, I have you guys all on mute, so I think, now I have you guys all on mute. As you're breathing out, I want you to just allow your voice to carry out a little bit with that breath. And so, at the risk of sounding a little bit strange, when you breathe in, just the sound of your breath, and as you breathe out, just allow some sound to escape. Whatever that might be, however it might sound. It might feel a little bit silly or weird at first, but I want you to encourage yourself to let go at least 3 breaths with a little bit of sound. Just letting that energy with the sound just release from your body, release from your vocal cords, allowing your throat center and your throat chakra to become connected to your breath. And we're going to bring in frequency number 6 from Matrix Energetics. I want you to just imagine now being embraced and encompassed, almost like you're in a womb. Almost like you're in a womb with this gel-like plasma type of viscous fluid that just is healing. It's just starting to coat your whole body. It's starting to absorb to the inside through your skin, almost like you can hear it, feel it, see it, touch it, smell it. It's this placenta-like viscous tissue that's just starting to just encompass your whole body in the most beautiful way. And it's almost like you can breathe into this fluid-like frequency. You can breathe it in your body and it feels really good as it enters your lungs. And as this fluid starts to touch any part of your body, I want you to imagine it as maybe emeraldy green or teal or even blue, and just noticing the color that you can connect with this frequency. And imagine it just being like this gorgeous womb that's just surrounding you, and every part of you that it touches, it starts to heal. This fluid is capable of healing cancers. It's capable of healing your nervous system, your circulatory system, your hormonal field, all of your tissue. It's like a DNA repair frequency that's just starting to resonate in and around your body and in and through your breath as you start to breathe this in. And it's almost as though you're becoming like a baby in a womb. This frequency is able to heal ancestral trauma, mental trauma, anxiety, panic, stress on the nervous system. It's able to actually go in and reconfigure and tune your body to its frequency. This beautiful frequency number 6, just imagine this moving in and all around, and imagine it starting to really focus in around your throat chakra. Like it's coating every vocal cord, like it's coating your neck where we tend to be a little bit stubborn. It's coating your jaw, it's coating your teeth, and it's starting to spread up into your third eye, starting to spread into your whole face, just like it's redesigning, reintegrating, rebirthing all of this tissue, helping to heal and repair any tissue, any eye problems, any ear problems, any tooth problems, making every cell stronger as it moves in and around your head and your brain, all the connective tissue in and around the brain, just literally almost as it's touching it, it's starting to heal it, like this jelly-like substance that's just healing every cell in and around your brain, cleaning and clearing all of those areas for thought, for cognition, for balance. And just allowing that to expand up into your head as it moves to the top of your skull and it starts to come out of your crown chakra and be released into all of your energy fields, those beautiful energy fields we spoke about last week, going into that blueprint around your physical body. Allowing this frequency to emanate with your keys and your codes, these beautiful light-working keys and codes that have been installed in your blueprint. And allowing that fluid to go around, to grease any of those keys and codes, to allow them to turn in, to tune in, turn on, tapping in, turning on any of those other frequencies. And just allowing that beautiful recircuitry to start happening in your sacred geometry all around the blueprint of your physical body. As you breathe in more of this beautiful plasma-like gorgeous fluid, and it comes in and around your lungs and starts healing all that tissue, and it starts spreading through your rib cage back into your heart, and allowing that energy to start embracing and encompassing your heart, just folding around it in such a beautiful way, healing anything that is ready to be healed in that heart, filling up some holes, creating some beautiful kaleidoscope patterns as it starts to heal that heart. And I want you to see some of those colors start to spread into your aura, into that light field around you, and just notice some of the colors that are emanating around your body as your heart center starts to recalibrate, starts to regenerate with this beautiful plasma energy moving towards all of those dark little spaces, all of those repairs that have been ready to be made for a long time. Simply choosing to allow that love for yourself, to allow some of that blame, that shame, that guilt that you've been holding on to be released with your breath, in a nice receiving breath right now. And just imagine all of that beautiful plasma starting to move down into your solar plexus as you feel your divine spark start to glow again, and notice the color that it's emanating today. Is it yellow for the sun? Is it golden? Is it tapped into your cosmic source of energy? Further outside your body, further outside the mental, further outside the spiritual, the emotional, leading right into cosmic energy, connecting with the golden grid around you in this beautiful energetic field, and just feeling your energy start to expand. Feeling your skills start to come stirring, feeling your things that light you up, those things that are unique to you, your unique puzzle pieces that are just ready to be shown. And allowing your sacral plexus and your root chakra to be encompassed, embraced, healed, transmuted by this beautiful frequency number 6 plasma, this one that's just moving through you, bringing any healing, just like a baby, fresh rebirth of ancestral trauma, past lives, stories you've been carrying, just choosing to allow those to be cleaned and cleared with a strong yes, just choosing to have that plasma come in and do its magic. Recalibrating all of those stories as you feel your legs start to come into contact with Mother Gaia, and that energy in the Earth's grid and all of the planetary alignments, as you feel your whole body, mind and spirit start to align and just feel at peace with the universal energy as your whole body takes on this quantum frequency. And I want you to imagine now moving towards trying a new shell, trying a new home, experiencing a new adventure in the realm of your relationships. And I want you to just bring into focus a shell off in your future where you can see yourself moving towards it. And I want you to notice the colors of that shell. Is it big? This is your relationship shell. This is what you're going to try on for the next 6 months, where you're going. This focus, this beautiful energetic shift of creating healthy boundaries, of having harmonious relationships, of feeling what it really feels like to be loved and to be love, and to resegment with every moment, holding intention as much as humanly possible, to notice all of the good in your relationships, to notice all of the time that you may have or may miss out on if you don't take advantage of it right now, living in this moment of being so grateful for the relationships that you have. I want you to notice what this shell feels like. I want you to imagine that you're going inside and you can see what a life with harmonious, helpful, even, compassionate, loving, kind, giving and receiving, teacher and student type relationships, all the possibilities. I want you to just imagine allowing yourself to be in this shell as this baby in this womb, this gorgeous, energetic, pure being, just creating whatever it is that they're ready to create. Feel what it feels like to be in relationship. Notice the different people that are popping into your field, into your shell. Notice what feels good, what doesn't, what such divine lessons that you know. You may be like a fish that picks something up and spits it out of your shell, or a hermit crab that's found its own, and there's no room for other people. You need to just make this room for yourself. Is that what's going on in this shell? Knowing that being inside and being comfortable and being happy with yourself, loving being home by yourself, loving being with yourself alone. How does that feel in this shell? I want you to just embrace the shell for a moment. Notice some things in it, especially the colors, some sounds, some people. And I want you to notice something that you can do now, this week, coming up to the summer solstice, almost asking your superconscious for just one little action step. It doesn't have to be anything major, but what is one thing that would bring you in alignment with this shell, or even make it the best that it could be, just to show you some of these things that you could bring into harmony, into alignment with your relationships right now. And noticing that you are a hermit crab and you can actually move to any shell you want. You can make anything your home. I want you to look next and see this other beautiful shell that's just around the corner. This is your health shell. This is your health and wellness shell. This is your disciplinary actions. This is what you've been ready to do, who your identity is as health and wellness. And I want you to notice what this shell looks like. Is it curvy? Is it tall? Is it just opalescent and gorgeous? Is it a crustacean or an old tin can? Just look at what that representation is of your health and wellness. And see how you can maybe spruce it up a little bit. This last month has all been about creating structure. Now we have this structure for this beautiful shell. You can choose whichever shell you want. What shell are you going to choose as your health and wellness shell? What stories have you always told yourself? You can move. You can pick anything you want. You can move your house onto this gorgeous structure that you've built. What kind of shell are you ready to bring onto your health and wellness structure? What are some of the little things that you could do for your health and wellness that just feel good? That would bring you in alignment with living a life of health and vitality? Not just wanting to be somewhere, but being able to just go and see anyone, to just, maybe that's your motivation. Maybe you've been hiding. Maybe you want to start seeing people. Maybe you want to start being seen as a certain way. Maybe you are starting to feel like your authentic self. What is that? How far can you go? How much can you dress this shell up? What can it look and feel like? And how does it feel carrying it around? Choose to feel a little bit entitled. And I'd like to just ask for the superconscious help in this, to tag and treat. There's some feelings of not wanting to feel entitled, not wanting people to notice this. But this is truly the way everyone else feels entitled. Why are we triggered by that? This is something to look at. Tag and treat that in the field, and do a massive change history around some of these self-judgments and some of these stories about what it's like to be successful or healthy, or And tagging and treating any resistance in this house, in this new house, about not doing it before, failing before, about past patterns and reality, and doing a massive change history on all that. And now, last but not least, we're going to go into that shell where we are our true authentic self, our true nature and purpose. And I want you to invite your career into this shell and look at the kind of shell you're going to choose. Is it going to be a bigger one than you can carry around? Is it going to be something that feels good? Is it going to be something that could actually be really useful to others? Noticing all of these skills that are hiding in this next shell, all of these things that you may not have even seen before. Some of these things that you just enjoy, that you're good at, that come so naturally to you. I want you to just expand into this shell, feel what it feels like to wear it. You can always move shells again, but what does it feel like to wear this shell? Just noticing that, tagging and treating any resistance towards that. Moving into that full career. What do you want to do when you grow up this time? We're growing up, we get this opportunity again. Tagging and treating in the field any midlife crisis words or feelings or emotions that have come up. Just creating a massive change history around that, where this is growth. We're just choosing to grow instead of crash. This is growth, and just feeling into that word and feeling what it feels like to grow, feeling what it feels like to be able to switch in between these shells, knowing they're all authentic to us, and at the same time have wings that you can fly up above and see the beauty in all of this, the journey that we're taking to get, and the enjoyment of enjoying these shells for what they are. And as we bring ourselves out of this matrix energetics frequency of the plasma of the womb, like, we're going to notice ourselves growing, and we're going to embrace frequency number 15, where we're starting to feel a little bit more electric, almost starting to feel a little bit more charged up, as we can feel the same color, but start to take over in a grid-like electrical sense, where we start to feel almost like the frequency turn up a little bit, climbing higher, up to frequency number 16, where you have 15, where you have this growth, where you have this beautiful healing going on in the circulatory system. It's like the hormonal system right now is being rewired. Now that we've made this integration, there's room for everything. Everything can go back to where it's supposed to be, the way it's supposed to be working, in the most beautiful, highest self pattern. Just allowing us to feel this recoding happen in our hormonal systems, through our energetic field, but through our circulatory and nervous systems, like those systems on the inside are getting an upgrade, plugging into the Earth's beautiful matrix, and allowing these particular frequencies with these blue-green layers and levels to them start to just move through your body. Feels like this is causing tingles from the feet all the way up through the knees, and just allow those goosebumps to resonate over your whole body. Allow those tingles to expand as your codes, your blueprint starts to get these upgrades and these codes, as the keys start to be turned and the codes start to be downloaded. Creating this beautifully healing energy, and imagining that the cosmos is opening up, that new moon is bringing in light of the lessons, and just noticing those lessons over the last couple of weeks that you've been learning, over this last lunar cycle of the whole month, since the last new moon. What we really wanted to bring in, what is ready to actually transpire now, will come into next week, and just choosing that could be an option, that could be a possibility. And again, in this career state, ask the superconscious for a little bit of guidance to just a small action step that'll bring you more in alignment with living your true nature and purpose. Embodying that every day. What does that look like on an everyday basis? What's something you could just do every day that you just enjoy? What out of your career right now could you just enjoy that you're already doing? A way to stay where you are yet expand in such a beautiful way. How can you choose to create this in your life right now? We're going to just ground all this into the matrix of the universe and into memories and timelines 1, 2, and 3. And when you're ready, you can just wiggle a toe, wiggle a finger. Bring your buzzy self back from having that last frequency roll through there. I didn't plan on that one coming in, but the colors were just so beautiful together that the frequencies just melded, and it was like this hormone recode. It was kind of neat. And I didn't plan on doing a recode either, but I really heard clearly some resistance to some certain words, and I don't even remember what they were now. Oh, entitled, entitlement. There was, it's like we've always been taught to not be or feel entitled, or you would be a certain way. And it was like I felt, especially with a couple of you, this strong, like, well, that's rather entitled, or feeling like someone's rather entitled. And I don't know where that came from, but that's something to we should feel entitled. That maybe that was me. There's this awkwardness when sometimes we realize some of the thoughts that we're having because we feel like they're not even a part of us anymore. And those are some of those beautiful things that we can get clarity about especially over this next week. This next week is going to just bring forth so much clarity. But it's going to come from playing. It's not going to come from working hard. And I mean, education and doing some learning, if you're inspired to listen to a book or read a book or listen to a podcast or take a little course or just kind of dive into something this week, that's great. It's a beautiful time for that. But the most beautiful and most profound thoughts and profound aha moments that we're going to have, I feel, are going to come from that having fun, that truly letting go, being in the Wizard's Gate, being in that place where you're just in high vibration, intentionally yet unintentionally. It's going to happen when we're there the most, when it gathers that energy, when we're holding that energy for a little while. It's going to be a lot of fun. So when we know that, it's kind of like being able to win the lottery in a way, because we can really expand into that and be asking the right questions, and you don't miss things then. You don't get those opportunities that you're missing because you're not even in the vicinity of or looking for. You're going to be able to really just jump on into those beautiful opportunities that are going to be showing themselves. So next week we'll likely do a little full moon or solstice type of work. I never really, like I say, I never really planned on doing just moons and solstices, but I think it's the witch in me that really resonates with the energy that happens. And I see it on such a profound pattern of people that I've had the blessing of working with a lot of friends this week who don't necessarily do this work, but they're just at places where they're really ready to shift. And so we're kind of getting, we're almost starting over, but we're not. And that's what I see people as, what they've been describing it as, a breakdown, or, I thought I was going to lose it, or I thought I was going to, like, these are these true teaching moments to pay attention to. And instead of letting ourselves believe that we're having a midlife crisis or that we are losing it or that we are having a nervous breakdown, it's in fact that download and the upload of the new information that we have been asking for. And that's why we're here in this group. That's why we're resonating with this, because we're on this path and we have found a way to move through this as gracefully as possible. So I'm going to sign off in Facebook world, and I'm just going to send such love and solstice blessings and new moon blessings to you all. It's not going to hurt to sit back and reflect and write a little bit. I love doing journal prompts like, what are some lessons that I have learned in this last month that have been really profound to me? What is it that I really do want to, maybe a few little goals that I'm maybe ready to move forward with my health. A lot of people are wanting to quit smoking. I'm actually taking a hypnosis course this weekend to help people to be able to quit smoking, quit addictions and things like this. I thought it was just kind of a neat opportunity. And my husband really wants to quit, so he's like, just take the course and we'll just do it. It sounds like you can, fix things in one session, just like a recode kind of thing. But with actual hypnosis, I feel like it'll be kind of fun. But so I'm excited about that, just learning something new. But allow yourself to really dive into some of these wants and these feelings that people are having. They're ready to do these things, and we have been for a long time. So now it's to have that faith and really let that energy work within us, because it's there and it's going to make things really easy over this next week. So if we know it's going to be a little bit easier, then hey, why not, right? Yeah, I'm excited to kind of know what hypnosis and recode. I think a lot of it, just from the past stuff that I've done, a lot of it is counting down to a certain level, getting a person into that theta and alpha state, but then giving the proper commands. So it's just going to be a little bit different, and you're working on a problem instead of a solution. So I'm but in the same sense, they have to be ready for it. They have to really want to make the change. And then it's a little bit easier to get the subconscious on board, right? But it'll be some new teachings, of course, I'll share with you guys, and we'll have some fun with it, I'm sure. But I will sign off Facebook, and then if anyone has any questions,